my next guest tonight on Punky's MixTape is joining me all the way from Rochester, New York. Like everybody, welcome to the show. We've got Tyler, Jesse, Ryan, and Zach, also known as Early Retirement. How we doing, guys?
What's up? Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing good. Can't complain at all. Actually just finished the final touches on my new PC, and I think you guys and one more like my last interviews on this final setup here until I switch all over to the new stuff. So getting in, end of an era already. So for my fans at home, we've played you guys once before on the show, but for those who haven't heard you, tell us a little bit about Early Retirement.
Go for it. All right. Well, we are a pop punk band from Rochester, New York. We're just trying real hard to be Cartel and hoping nobody notices. Truthfully, but yeah, no, that's us. We're just some loud dudes with some songs about being sad and drunk.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, like, we all came out of different bands from the Rochester scene. We've all been playing for 10 plus years, and we finally got together and started doing something. And we were just excited to do something different.
So that's awesome. So what does everybody do in the band?
So I play lead-ish guitar and sing.
Yeah, and then I do bass and vocals as well.
Another guitar. And I play drums.
He also sings backing vocals. He just won't admit it.
Awesome. Now, how long has Early Retirement been together?
Just over a year.
Yeah.
Been about a year and 3 months or so.
Holy shit! So you're like really fresh into it.
Oh yeah, we're babies.
Babies. Only in band form.
Yeah, we when we started this band, Ryan and I had been writing some material that we weren't really sure what it was going to end up being used for, and Jesse, Zach, and myself were all doing a project that ended up stopping rather abruptly, and it just kind of one thing ended, another thing started, and then he and I started writing a whole lot more material, and now we've got a record.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit about the album.
So the album's called Over the Influence. It's 10 tracks?
10 songs, yeah.
10 songs. We recorded it here in Rochester with a little bit of a local legend, guy named Jordan Foner. He was in bands like Storm the Bay and Reps. He's done a lot of great metal records out here and just played a lot of great pop punk. He runs a studio called HQ Audio, and we tracked it all out there. Real good time doing that. Took about 3-4 months of tracking, a couple months of mixing,
Something like that.
and just ended up self-releasing that. And anybody got something to add?
Yeah, it's pretty much about a bunch of different things. Just like it's a collection of a bunch of songs that, like we said, he and I have written over the course of the last 5 years or so, 6 years or so of our lives. About heartbreak, about addiction and substance abuse and all kinds of other things that we've all been going through.
Heavy on the substance abuse. if you didn't pick that up.
Definitely picked up those notes. So is it more of working through recovery?
Kinda.
To
some extent. Some of the album is kind of realizing how far down you're spiraling, and then I think a lot of it, especially toward the end with our song Reverie, it's like realizing what you want to do and taking steps to get there, pretty much.
Yeah, I've always kind of thought of it more as a progression.
Yeah.
Where at the beginning you're all happy-go-lucky, kind of doing whatever you want, and then sort of through the middle noticing, oh shit, maybe this isn't so much fun after all. You got a song like Anything But Sober that's right there in the middle that's leading into Party Foul right after that. And they're both kind of realizing you're at bottom and there's just not much lower to go.
Something that a lot of us can absolutely relate to with different points in our life if we're, currently there now. Something that I absolutely can relate to. And it's a hard road, to eventually find balance with yourself and the things that, that you can't stop yourself from doing and things like that. And this knowing knowing your limits, knowing your lines, knowing when to stop, and knowing yourself. So it sounds like the album's really in itself is about self-discovery and learning, really who you are at the end of the day. And when you wake up at, the morning after a party, it's easy to be the life of a party. That's fucking easy, but it's really accepting who you are the day after.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to have fun when the party's going on. It's harder when you're having to clean up.
Yep.
And
especially if it spills past your morning, It's one thing to physically clean up after a party, but to mentally clean up after a party.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I've been trying to for 15 years.
Like the opening line for Clarity is, "Hey, how have you been? Where did you go? To tell you the truth, I don't even know." And it's kind of like I'm asking myself that question. And I'm like, wow, I don't know where I've been the last 4 years, but not in a good spot, that's for sure.
Well, it's good to be able to use music, as a therapeutic tool to be able to work through that. And honestly, like one of the biggest things, I say this in a lot of different like groups that I'm in. I'm like, just that honesty with yourself and just that self-recognition, it's like the biggest first step that you can admit to yourself. Nobody's perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to fall down and pick ourselves back up again. It's just, what type of character do you have at the end of the day? How do these events define you? Are you defining these events? It's the way that I kind of see it, to keep myself on a better place.
Yeah.
So, man, getting real here.
Yeah, we're like 5 minutes in and we're like,
rainy day. It's getting the feels. I'm getting into your fucking MixTape.
Here's my trauma. Call me maybe.
What's that? Baby, you like emotionally damaged guys in their 30s? What's up?
Hey!
Oh, shit.
Here comes everything.
That's where you're wrong, kiddo.
Oh, I'm emotionally damaged, but I'm self-aware, damn it. Oh, man. So before the world hit the fan and the apocalypse started, how's the scene there in Rochester? Pretty,
So there's some places that are starting to try to open back up, and we get it. Business is business. You got to do what you got to do. We haven't really given a whole lot of credence to anything that we've been offered so far. Just none of us feel that it's worth risking the fans, risking ourselves, risking venues getting in trouble for people not following the rules. So at the moment, things are still fairly dead. I've been seeing a little bit of stuff starting to come up, but I'm thinking it probably won't be at least a few more months before there's any real recovery on that front.
And that's like a short, if that. And honestly, you're not the only band that feels that way. I think it's probably the safest thing to do is just hold off for a little bit, because you're looking at everything that's happening right now. It's getting worse before it's getting better. And honestly, I miss live shows. I miss pits. I miss dancing. I miss having a good time. But no amount of fucking good time is worth the expense of somebody else,
Yeah, exactly.
It's been 181 days since we've played a live show in front of an audience. And it is, I think I speak for everybody saying it's killing all of us.
Yeah.
It's terrible. We converted our practice space down here into a live streaming studio so we could do some stream shows. But, obviously it's never the same thing. There's not a crowd. There's no energy other than our own in the room to feed off of.
Which is normally enough anyway.
Well, it's usually plenty, don't get me wrong. But, having that feedback is so much better. But, man, the best show I've ever played, and I think I can speak for everybody here, the best show I've ever played isn't worth a single human life. It's just not.
It's not. Because the next show is probably going to be better than the last one. They usually are. So it's just no amount of anything is worth that right now, other than just the deepest satisfaction of knowing it's not going to be an issue. That's the biggest thing. So before shit hit the fan, what were shows like for early retirement when you guys were getting going here?
When we were getting going.
Yeah, when you guys first started.
We kind of got our start in a lot of DIY shows out here with we've got some good friends in a band called 20 Something who man, if it wasn't for those guys, I don't know how many times we probably would have given up on this thing. But they are just the realest dudes, and they kept pushing us, being like, hey, let us know when you're ready to start playing out. And we were like, shit, all right, I guess we really have to do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm really, really glad that we had them. That's really how we got our start. Our first few were, you know, DIYs in a venue that sadly no longer exists. That was called the Vineyard Community Space. It was literally playing in the front room of this house just on South Clinton Ave in Rochester. It was a house that was owned by, I think, a church or something, was it? But yeah, no, it was a really cool spot. I've gotten to play there with a few different bands, and that's where we really got our start. I mean, I guess we had it a little bit weird because we started with the DIY thing, and then kind of sort of as a joke, we had entered a contest to get to open for Bayside at a venue in our city called the Anthology. And, you know, we didn't have any music recorded at the time. You had to have music recorded, so we did just a quick Dirty Basement demo of 2 of the tracks we'd written.
Even 2, just 1.
Oh, no, we recorded 2. We only released 1. We also recorded Clarity, but oof.
It was bad.
Woof, it was bad. It was a real bad demo. We threw up one of the demos and just started pushing it all over the place. And lo and behold, we won somehow. So our 4th show ever as a band was to a 650-person audience at Anthology opening for Bayside on the Interrobang tour.
Wow.
And
It was pretty wild.
it was a really, really, really cool show, man.
So that's really, you're not the first band to tell me that. So another band that I interviewed, Eugene Levy.
Yeah, we remember them from the contest.
Yeah. They played with Bayside as well.
Yeah, no, they really did a lot of pushing that contest through all the pop punk networks on, you know, Facebook and Instagram, and I thought it was a really, really cool thing that they did. They did a lot of.
It's really clever. You know, it's a good idea to get, you know, good local openers out there that should be there. There'll be some times where I go to a show and I'm like, who the fuck is? All right. I would have picked somebody else, but that's, you know, but I mean, not to say, but sometimes you look at a lineup, you're like, that's just the wrong choice. That's the wrong choice. I could think of, you know, 17 other bands that absolutely deserve to be here right now. And it's not even seniority or anything that, it's just, you know, fitting a good show. So that's really cool. So opening up for Bayside was like a huge push for you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That really had us looking at this like, okay, we need to like seriously get our shit together and really try to make something of this. And I think it was, you know, a month or so after we were starting to get in touch with Jordan, who recorded our album, and we started figuring that out.
Yeah, I very much remember being on that stage. One of us just was like, we're early retirement. This is our 4th show. You've made a terrible mistake.
Yes.
And, you know, we walked out there and went, you know, whatever happens, happens. We're here. There's no taking it back now. And, yeah, I mean, we just really haven't stopped since. We went in a couple months later, started the record, and we were doing that pretty much right up until just before this quarantine.
So, woo, wow. Somebody just screeched down. I live in the middle of the woods, so strange. Hearing all sorts of things today. I saw a car accident today. Saw a little old lady rear end somebody else. We're hearing all sorts of things. It's a wild day here in the woods of Maine. So, speaking of wild, so that Bayside show was probably pretty wild. But it's kind of curious. Over your years of playing in bands and things like that, what's one of the oddest things you've ever seen go down at a show? Any strange occurrences? I love those types of fucking stories. There's got to be, every band's got one.
Well, Kite Fest definitely has to. Oh man! So before Ryan was in this project with us, the 3 of us were in a band called Pawner, and had some fun with that band. But we had a friend whose family put together this truly bizarre music festival. We weren't really sure what the point of it was. We knew we were just going to go there and, play. It was for no pay, but it was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be a nice day. And we got there, and just the power situation was bad. The stage was in the middle of completely unprotected, direct sunlight in the middle of a field. It must have been, must have been like 95 degrees, 100 degrees, something like that. And I just remember standing kind of behind the stage being like, all right, we're going to do this. The band before us was on. Every piece of gear they brought with them broke in one way or another. I think by the end, they were using part of our drum kit, one of my guitars, I think a spare bass that I had in the van.
Oof.
Everything was bad.
Not to mention,
Man, can I borrow your everything?
Yeah, great set, dudes. Well, we haven't played yet, but okay. Yeah, no, it wasn't even all at once. It was great. Like, I just heard, oh, man, his guitar broke. Does anybody have a spare guitar? Yeah.
And Tyler is like one of those guys that if like you're missing something, it's like either in his pockets or his car. It doesn't matter if it's like a musical card or if it's like a random ass calculator or something. He always has it.
Hey, man, I'm convinced that my trunk is just a cornucopia of needed things.
You never know. You never know. It's rather to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, or have it and not need it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just been at shows watching other bands play, and like a tube goes or something. He's like, I have the exact tube for that amp in my car. Let's go.
Fun fact: I actually partly got a little bit of a job with We the Kings very briefly.
Oh, nice.
At one of their shows, and right before they finished sound check, they had a kick mic go bad, and I just happens to have an AKG D112 sitting in the trunk of my car, and I was like, I got this.
This is that moment. I got it. Don't worry.
I was like, I got this. And the guy just kind of looked at me. I ran out, came back, and handed him a D112, and he just goes, why do you have this?
Just for this exact moment.
Like, well, because you need it, buddy.
There's especially like in the Northeast, we've got to be a little bit more handier than, in some places. You guys in Rochester, that's a little bit more remote than in New York. It's not like being in New York City or anything like that in the heart where everything's right there. Like you said, you're playing in the middle of a field, and that's pretty common for shows here in Maine, like big festivals and stuff like that. And you pretty much have to plan for the worst case scenario at all times. I totally agree to that line of thinking, 100%.
Yeah, we really try pretty hard these days to not go to a show, without bringing everything we could possibly need. Especially when you're out here, we've got the really brutal winters. You guys have it a little worse than we do down here, but I made the mistake of going to Bangor in January once. It was a bad time. Bad time. I was thinking of going to school out there. I got out of the car and went, nope, this isn't happening.
Yeah, especially in January. I'm like an hour south of Bangor, and it's brutal. I mean, we have brutal winters here, but at the same time, like I said, it's kind of one of those things you're going to live through. You get used to it, and this kind of adds character to it, Definitely say that the Northeast offers a certain level of hearty heaviness in their bands. That and just like most guys I know, in bands, and I'd like, oh, I've got this. There's, in that show, there's usually one, a Tyler of sorts, especially in the Northeast. That handyman. It's like, oh no, I got my fucking.
Always a fucking Tyler.
Yep. I got my work truck. Oh, no problem. You guys, you need 220 cable? Yeah, I can run a line right now. No problem. Yeah, we can ground the stage. It's fine.
That's him.
You can ground the stage.
That's him. I'm not gonna. That's a Jesse.
You got everything, but he's got the electrical stuff handled.
He's got the know-how. I've got the stuff.
Perfect, and that's always good.
Hey, as long as you got both.
Between the four of us, we make one functioning adult.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm the idea guy. I got the ideas, but I need the guy with the stuff and then the guy that could do it.
Yeah, I'd say he's our idea guy. I'm our stuff guy. He's our brains guy. He's our violent encouragement guy.
Oh, wild card.
Wild card. Yeah.
Wild card, bitches. Every band needs a Charlie.
Here's a blunt instrument. A sure progress.
Shit, man. Oh, so what are some of your guys' influences throughout the band? You kind of go around the room. What did you guys grow up on? You know, that kind of pushed you to go into the punk, you know, genre.
So for me specifically, I was playing at a birthday party for a friend of mine when I was in high school, and just this terrible band. Shouldn't have been playing in public. Terrible song choices. And this guy came up to me and was like, nah, you're doing it all wrong. And taught me the intro to Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy and said, this is pop punk. This is what the kids like. And I have not looked back since. So it was for me growing up, it was, you know, Fall Out Boy, Newfound Glory, Cartel. You know, it's always changed around a little bit moving forward, but those are a lot of the big ones for me.
And I know he's also been around, like, you know, music people his whole life. His dad does music and everything. For me, I mostly got into pop punk when I was real young. I was watching MTV, and I was watching, like, you know, Sum 41, Blink-182 on MTV and everything. So it started off there, go through high school, and then eventually it gets around to be like 2011, 2012, 13, and we get that, like, resurgence of pop punk music from State Champs and Knuckle Puck and the Wonder Years and all them. And so I've pretty much been heavily invested into it, like, my whole life. Which is why I drag these guys toward that kind of genre.
I'm old. So, like, I have my first copy of, like, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge that when it fucking came out. You know?
Yep. How old are you?
He's like 100.
29.
I'm 29. I'll be 29 in October.
Oh, I'm older than you. Don't worry about it.
Well, so you fucking know then.
Yeah, I got 6 years on you. Don't worry.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just grew up with that stuff. And I mean, like, I've been around music most of my life. My dad always blasted stuff all over the spectrum. And I just kind of gravitated towards that stuff. So, like, MCR and Cartel, Mayday Parade, that stuff's
I mean, then again, I've played literally everything from country and western to metal with you.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I mean, I've been
Tyler
playing music with him for, God, 8 years, something horrible like that. You know, in one form or another. Yeah, it's coming up on like 10 years, something like that. And yeah, I mean, Jesse, you got influences, right?
Yeah. So.
Or are you over them?
Oh, titular line, and I'm out.
Somebody give me a microphone, damn it.
Tyler's in charge of puns in the band. No, I listen to a lot of the same stuff. Also bands like Story of the Year, Thrice, Green Day, you know, that kind of stuff. But as well as pretty much everything they listen to.
You definitely, like, and that's like State Champs, Wonder Years, like, phenomenal bands. You nailed it with Thrice for me. Oh my God, I fucking love Thrice. Oh, Alchemy Index is probably one of my favorite albums. So good, so good. That's awesome. What about you guys? So let's see. You probably have did you have cassettes when growing up? Stuff like that. Okay, because there's probably an age difference here. You guys remember, like,
not as much as it sounds like. I think the youngest, and I'm 26.
I'll put it this way. I'm looking around my desk because I was pretty sure there was still a cassette sitting here somewhere.
Nice.
I came across some cassettes of one of my dad's bands from the middle of the 80s, and I was trying to find a way to digitize them.
That's awesome. That's really cool, actually. So when you guys were younger, so you remember making, like, mixtapes and shit when you were kids?
Yep,
absolutely.
I've still got a box of cassettes somewhere that's a combination of mixtapes and terrible demos of things from long before I should have called myself a songwriter, but I still thought I was anyway.
I remember sitting there with my mom's old boombox from like the 80s and popping it in and listening to the radio, and I'm like, boom, got it.
Like waiting. Oh, and that's honestly, that's something that just like doesn't transpose to the younger generation. They don't know that moment, especially when you get it like within like a millisecond of it actually starting. Like you got the DJ and we're like, oh, coming up next we've got, you know, friggin' Green Day's Time of My Life. Yeah, that's something that played when I was a kid. I had to think back for a second, and it's like, oh, it's been so many years in music. You guys remember, you happen to by chance remember like your first mixtapes, like the first thing that you just like had to have?
Oh, jeez.
Or even better yet, even what was like your first musical obsession, if you can't remember that? What was like the first thing as a kid that you just like?
So I don't remember my first musical obsession, but I do remember the first 2 albums I ever owned on CD. And those were Fashion Nugget by Cake.
Good album. Good album.
Yeah, probably not a great album to give your 10-year-old.
Yeah.
It's also where I learned the word fuck, but that's okay. And then the other one was, 16 Stone by Bush.
Oh, man. Everybody's breakup album.
Oh, shout out to Gavin Rosdale, I guess.
Gavin, you did fine in life. You've got no doubt you're doing all right.
Oh,
yeah,
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? I was quick on that too. Gavin's fine.
Sorry, Gwen.
He was in the Constantine movie. He was all good. He's doing fine. What about the rest of you guys? First album bought or mixtapes or maybe the first musical obsession you had?
I know the first CD I ever bought with my own money was American Idiot when it came out. I think I was like 10 years old, and I was like, I need.
Fun fact: my dad bought that for me as a confirmation present, and my mother was furious. Furious.
That's awesome.
Was it that one, or was it Bullet in a Bible?
Oh no! It was American Idiot. He bought me 2 CDs that day. It was American Idiot and Ascendancy by Trivium.
Very nice.
Happy Religion.
Happy Religion. Here's some punk and metal.
Nice. Well, the rest of you guys.
Was one of those Smash Mouth albums from like 2000.
Oh yeah, we all made that mistake. I was right there with you. We were walking on the sun that one summer.
Oh man, I'm not even sorry. I unironically like Smash Mouth.
That's fine.
I'll tell the world it's fine.
I don't think there's anything at this point of like having a guilty pleasure anymore because they're just pleasures, you know. And they're things that I I'll absolutely admit all day. You know, I'm like, oh fuck you, I'll listen to this. Like, I'll sit there and I'll listen to Despised Icon, but I have no problem going and like, I don't know, like I was actually. But it was helping me with my computer today. I was like, hey, do you know how many good remixes there are of fucking the Goo Goo Dolls' Iris?
Yeah!
The song slaps.
And I was like, fuck, dude. And he's like, really? I'm like, dude, this is a really good remix of fucking the Goo Goo Dolls. That happened earlier. I got no shame in that whatsoever.
The 3 of them will hate me forever. At one point in time, I made us all cover 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton.
I loved it.
And you know what?
Awesome.
It was one of the best received covers we've ever done. I've been having people ask about it ever since. Zach will probably die mad about it, but that's okay.
I think the best received cover any band I've ever done has been Ludacris's Blueberry Yum Yum.
There you go.
Turn it into like a grindcore song. No, yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing like 10 years ago. So, what about the rest of you guys? Other influences? Zach?
Or are we still doing?
Or not influences. First album or mixtapes or anything like that.
I have a shit memory, and the first album I ever bought with my own money was either December Underground by AFI or The Black Parade.
Oh, 2 solid choices. think the first album I bought with my own money was an Adam Sandler comedy CD. And like it was they're all gonna laugh at you. No, I like hid it underneath my mattress for like a good while. Funny enough, my brother bought a Bare Naked Ladies CD, also hid it underneath his mattress, thought our mom was gonna take it away from him.
Why do you have Bare Naked Ladies under your bed?
Oh, come on. This is the tamest version of that.
It's the tamest version of having Bare Naked Ladies underneath your mattress.
Right next to Maxim magazine.
Not even. We were poor. It was the Sears cutout from the Sunday paper.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, we're having fun here now. See, it's not all dark and bleak.
Hey, man, sometimes you get real spoiled and get the Lane Bryant catalog.
Woo! I guess my co-host wanted to make an appearance.
What's up, buddy?
It's Toki Warcat.
Toki Warcat, I love it.
Yeah, he's usually in the back, but he's mad because he's dieting. Because
Same.
I'd say same. No.
He's actually gained weight since the last time we took him to the vet, didn't you, you chunky boy? He's a big boy. He's a big cat, but he likes to hang out. So, what do you guys besides? So you've been working on any new material as you guys are sitting here as the world ends around us?
Kinda, yes and no.
Let's say we have some ideas. Haven't really fleshed anything out.
We've been working a lot more on promoting the record and trying to get the word out, doing stuff like this. But, you know, behind the scenes, I'm always writing something. He's almost always playing guitar, writing something. So, I mean,
Touched the guitar in a week.
we spit out this album in a couple months, you know, using all kinds of songs that we had written over the years. So I have no doubt that we can spit out another one in the next, you know, year or two.
So what are you doing with this downtime to keep yourself busy?
Well, I mean, it's not even really downtime for most of us. The three of us all work the same day job. We've all been working the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, that's so. All right, so you haven't been put out by this at all.
Well, I was right at the very beginning, and Jesse's been out of work for 3 months. But aside from not having any live music, no, I mean, I've at least been able to keep the lights on, as have we.
Yeah. We actually both got our current jobs like just at the start of the pandemic when things were like really.
So you're definitely on that fortunate side of things right now. A lot of artists I talk to, and I'm sorry to assume, because like honestly, 90% of people I talk to, they've been all out of work from this.
Right.
Yeah.
And even in different parts of the world too. It's not just the United States. You know, I've been out of work since March.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I had to find something to keep myself busy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, being in New York, it was definitely getting kind of scary.
Yeah, well, I can imagine.
I mean, especially downstate. I mean, even up here, it wasn't too bad, but you know, in Rochester versus like in the country, it's two different places.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem so bad in Rochester.
Yeah.
Up until honestly, what, like a month or two ago?
Yeah, like probably mid-April, I think it was at its worst here.
Yeah, and then of course the rioting stuff happened. That's been interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting time with things that are happening socially, but
Yeah, but necessary.
yes.
Necessary, I'd say.
I mean, civil disobedience has proven historically to be effective.
Yes, sir.
I mean, look at the United States history. It is.
Well, I mean, they don't teach that anymore, so.
No, they don't teach for real history. No.
No.
But,
Sorry, Mom. I know you still teach for real history.
damn. Well, she's probably a good teacher. But it's like, yo. So here's what really went down. So hopefully. So one thing I'm always curious about, especially like you guys are in this, you know, flux right now. You just put out an album. You're doing a lot of stuff with that, staying busy. But if you were given the opportunity when you say to do your follow-up here for your sophomore album, if you had a chance to do a collab with like anybody, bring anybody in for an early retirement album, doesn't matter the genre, who's currently in the game, who would you want to work with?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Like musicians or producers or
Any and above. I mean, producers, musicians, visual artists. I mean, who would just absolutely you would just kill to be able to work with?
I mean, I could think of like 12 people right off the bat.
yeah.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of guys in the game right
Just
now.
one.
I mean, not just one, but start with one.
Starting with one, I'd probably pick either Dan Campbell, Soupy, or Derek Piscanio, who's been doing a lot of stuff lately with getting into producing bands as well.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on Derek. I'd love to get a chance to work with Seb Barlow. You know, he's doing the whole Neck Deep thing right now, but he's also does a lot of great engineering work. He's a killer mix engineer. Never heard anything he's touched that doesn't sound absolutely stellar.
Phenomenal engineer.
You know, just
There's
Nick Berzisi.
Yeah, Nick Brutze. I don't know how he says his last name.
I'm not really sure, but yeah, Nick from Mano. He's doing some cool stuff right now. I think he just put out some stuff from a solo project, right?
Yep.
But yeah, he's got the whole Lumberyard Studios there.
Yeah, so here's not one, but several names.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I know you said something about wishing we could do some work with John Feldman,
Yeah, that would be cool.
which just sounds incredibly expensive, but
Yeah.
you know, you kind of pay for quality at that level.
No, absolutely. You could pull any vocalist to work with for a guest spot. Who would you want to work with? Doesn't even need to be in punk. Who would you just love to hear on a track?
Oh man.
I'd go with Dan Campbell again, man. I mean, Wonder Years is my favorite band of all time for sure, so it would have to be.
So I always ask, because every time I load these all up to YouTube, I tag the shit out of every single one of those people that people say and hope that actually happens. That's my dream. I'd love to actually hear and be like, yo, these artists, this collaboration dream actually happened. Here, buddy, get out of here.
It would be really cool.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, dude, sky's the limit. I'm like,
Document.
you know, we'll put it right out there, put it into the world. I mean, the worst thing anybody can say is no. I mean, fuck it. You move on with the rest of your day.
Personally, I'd love to do some work with Joey Fleming from In Her Own Words.
Yeah, that would
He's
be cool. Yeah.
he's a killer vocalist. I knew him when I was growing up, much younger, you know, back in the Utica area, and always loved his voice and just love the work he's done with iHow.
Yeah, those guys are blowing up right now. Finally
Absolutely.
getting a lot more attention that they deserve.
So you were in like the Utica area? You were?
Yeah.
Did you have a small stint in Glassjaw?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Old thing. No, I haven't gotten my invitation to join yet, but I'm sure Daryl will have me in there join for 3 days and get kicked out. I love you, Glassjaw. You're one of my favorite bands. You go through members like fucking Americans through toilet paper.
Oh, ouch.
It's gone through a lot of members. I mean, all right, you know what? It could be worse. It could be the Faceless.
Fair.
I've quit the Faceless like 3 times already, so don't worry about it. We have fun. Faceless, I'm just kidding. Daryl, I'm definitely just kidding. If you happen to see this, I could play bass and guitar. I could definitely play. I could play a bunch of the old cuts. If you need a tour guitarist, I'm really not doing much right now. Glassjaw, what's up? Hit me up. I talk a lot of shit, but it comes from a place of love.
Hey, man, that's how you gotta be.
Oh, absolutely. And man,
If I
honestly,
didn't talk all kinds of shit, how would my friends know I care?
exactly. You know, it's part of our generation. You know, we razz, but from a place of love. And if I didn't give you shit, then you should probably assume that I probably don't like you. You know, if I'm very cordial and shake your hand and I'm very upfront and very business and very appropriate, then we're probably acquaintances. We're probably not friends.
Fair.
You know, and that's, you gotta have fun in life. You know, you gotta have fun.
It's too damn short to not, man.
Absolutely. So what do you guys do when you're the world is ending and you're not doing the band stuff, what odd little hobbies do you use to stay busy?
Wait, people have hobbies?
Yeah. Like I hate the fucking term, but I DM or GM for Dungeons and Dragons. I do a lot of that. I'm a game master. I play a ton of D&D.
I don't DM, I just play.
You do? Well, if you're ever interested, we're expanding the show here in the fall with another show where we're going to be doing live D&D with a crew, and then different musicians and other artists are going to be coming and doing different guest spots here and there for one-shots.
That's cool.
So if you have an interest in playing D&D with us,
we'll just give him a cardboard mask to put over his face because he doesn't like talking to people.
So I stay busy with that. But some people do have hobbies when they got some downtime.
We are known so lovingly at work as the nerds. Like, we're just like 4 or 5 guys on this one line working on computers, and our boss just like, hello, fucking nerds.
I was about to say, I'm sorry. I believe what you mean is, hello, you funny-smelling fucking nerds.
So a lot of us are into the geeky kind of stuff, too. Like, Zach and I are, like, huge fans of Star Wars.
Thanks to Zach, I now know almost everything there is to know about Gundam there is.
There's a lot to know.
I don't think I actually know all of it. I've watched like a series and a half or something like that. But I knew nothing about it 2 weeks ago. So there's that at least. I'm
huge into anime myself.
I know you just finished building a new PC, and that's what he does.
Dude, actually, I had my handheld the entire time. I'm more, I'm good with software and stuff like that, programs, that stuff. I had my handheld the entire time. My friends were kind enough to let me slide my GPU in and stuff like that. But they handled the hard end of it. I'm very fortunate that my best friend's an engineer, and he's a fucking brilliant guy. And he has to answer all my stupid fucking questions that he's already answered like 3 times. So
that's the last 7 years of his life knowing me. It's just, Jesse, I broke it. Help.
You didn't break it. It's just disconnected right here. Give it to me.
So there's positive and negative?
What? Polarity?
What's a circuit? Oh, man. This has been awesome. You guys are a lot of fun.
Hey, I ripped this wire out. Was that important?
Red wire. That's the red wire, too. Fuck, don't cut the red cord.
Oh, shit.
Well, too late now.
Yeah, too late. Guess we're all dead.
Well, fuck, man. So we're gonna check out some more of the album tonight. We're gonna play a little bit more of that. We already checked out the music video for The Bottle a few weeks ago, and also gonna be hearing a little bit more about the album from our new reviewer, good buddy Adam here on the show for our mixtape review. Is gonna do a little bit more of a deeper dive in your album and let the folks know thoughts here on the mixtape.
Awesome.
I love it.
Before we part ways, where can we find your music online?
So we are available on Bandcamp, and that's earlyretirement.ny.bandcamp.com. Sorry, I should have studied my cue cards a little bit better. And then we are also available on all major streaming platforms. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, if that's still a thing, Google Play, Deezer,
Amazon.
TikTok. We're on TikTok.
Put us in your TikToks.
Yes, please. Put us in your TikToks and show us how ridiculous we are.
I got to get in on the TikTok game. I don't have it.
Yeah.
When this whole pandemic thing, my buddy's just like, dude, you got to check this out. It's called TikTok. It's the new Vine. And I was like, oh.
It is not the new Vine.
Well, that's what he said. I haven't even looked at it. I see like little bits of content from Instagram. Like, what is it?
I mean, it's Vine, but it's for people younger than us who like get it, and we're all too old, so we don't get it.
That's probably why I don't get it.
TikTok seems like fun, but we're all old and have faces for radio.
Yeah.
I feel that. It's actually when I started, I was like, oh man, I was looking at my face for hours doing the show, and I'm like, man, I probably should do something with this thing.
I've been saying that since 1997.
Man, I ought to break this in or something.
Oh man. Early retirement. Any final words before we part ways?
Yeah, I mean, I guess wear your mask, stay safe, keep listening to cool tunes.
And shout out to our boys 20-something for being the best bros in the world.
The best
Love
bros
you
in the
guys.
world.
I love a good bromance.
Oh, the bromance is plentiful.
Everybody has their bands, brothers and sisters, your brother bands and your sister bands, and that's huge. And that like unspoken bond between bands, that's one of the most beautiful things. I've been in, my bandmates' weddings and stuff like that. I've been just involved with their lives, their kids being born and stuff like that. They become your family, all these people that you meet on the road, you end up spending more time with them than your actual family in the first place,
If you can survive on the road with your bandmates, you're probably closer than them, or with them, than you are to anybody you're blood related to anyway.
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's just kind of one of the things that's really cool about being in a band, especially when you're in a band like this, where these are people that have been we've all been in each other's lives for most of the last decade in one way or another, and
That's the difference of doing it because you love doing it as compared to other bands that are just trying to make a business out of it. And we can tell who you are. I'm not going to drop names because I try not to lay shade here on the show, but there are plenty of bands that do it just for money, accolades, and fashion, not passion.
We can think of a few, I'm sure.
God, if we did this for money, we're operating
we're
on a
not
horrifying
doing too bad.
handicap.
We're not doing too good at that.
It's like, I'm all set. Like around here, like the biggest thing around here in Maine are cover bands. They pay cover bands more money than fucking original music, and it blows my mind. People work hard and put their heart and soul into these tracks, but you can go and start a cover band and you can make $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a night. Like, blows my fucking mind. Like where people's priorities are as far as like live music goes.
Yeah, cover bands are great and all, and that's a good way to make money. But if I want to listen to those songs, I'm going to do it at home where I can drink all the whiskey I want and I don't have to wear pants.
I do that at shows. So.
Yeah, it's a problem. We get thrown out of a lot of places.
So do you play guitar?
What's that?
Does he play what? Tito, Ryan.
Yeah.
So you play guitar, right?
I play bass.
You play bass. So yeah, you could cover up unless you want to go like the full Chili Pepper route.
I mean, there's a whole lot of man going on here, so.
Tito Libido.
Oh,
Libido.
Tito Libido. Okay, that's gonna stay forever.
When it comes to this, like it just riff back and forth, like my fucking guard is just down and it just falls off. But you can't stifle those flames,
Nah, man, you just gotta let them burn.
You gotta let them burn. And everybody, in the bass, it's the rhythm. It's the sexiest part of the band. You gotta lay it down
You
low.
don't got groove, you ain't got shit.
That's true.
Way to put it, I guess.
True.
You ain't got groove, you ain't got shit. You heard it first here.
This is the first band I've played guitar in many, many, many years, and most of what I've done is being the other half of a rhythm section with that guy. And man, if that's not there, why bother?
You gotta be able to look over, and that's one of the things is playing a show and just looking over and seeing your bandmates with that stupid little smile on their face, and you just see everybody having a fucking blast. Those moments are absolutely priceless.
I absolutely love uncomfortably staring at him throughout like a whole song. It's great.
I only do that when the timing's off. I'm just like,
I've definitely had it happen where I messed up because I caught him doing something weird to him out of the corner of my eye.
I said something weird. I wasn't doing anything weird. Chill.
You might have been. I don't know. I didn't turn around that quickly.
I guess it was in practice. So who knows?
Pants down, cocks out, libido, full throttle.
Got that Tito libido.
That Tito libido.
Yeah,
That's how you're able to manage to go into early retirement. You're just gonna, work off from the profits from his OnlyFans. Is that what
Yeah,
There we go.
that's really what we've been doing this whole time. Is we're setting up the early retirement OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Oh, believe me, there is some content. Content with a capital C.
A lot of people
Oh, I thought I recognized that couch.
get it.
I know that.
No. That couch is upstairs.
Oh,
The living room has way better natural lighting.
oh my God. Well, I mean, that record ain't gonna pay for itself.
Oh, no.
Man, you should have seen the sheets up here the other day.
Like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Oh, man. No, we did a live stream here a couple of weeks ago, and Jesse has had a lot of time on his hands. So, we've got, some stage lighting and whatnot, and he had all these, diffusion sheets hung up. And, our friends in 20-something were coming to play. They came in and were like, oh, shit, are we doing porn or doing a live stream or what? And I was like, why not both?
Why not
So
both?
we did both.
Well, porn's notorious
so,
for soft lighting because it evens out the skin tones. I went to film school. I understand lighting.
Well, so the nice thing is, we were able to kill two birds with one stone. The bad news is, it turns out if you live stream hardcore porn on Facebook, you get a 30-day ban pretty fucking quick. Thanks, Zuckerbot.
Oh, and
Don't cross the streams, literally, man.
yeah.
Oh, shit, I killed him.
You definitely you fucking slayed me with that one. Oh man, you gotta stay fit, be sharp, make good decisions, right?
Oh, well, we already fucked up the first one. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, we're like going for
It was the fastest Ghostbusters quote I could think of. I honestly was about to start quoting Little Giants because I just watched that. I'm like, no, dude, wrong Rick Moranis movie. Wrong Rick Moranis movie. The Little Giants, it holds up, in case you were fucking curious.
There's
It
no
fucking
such
holds up.
thing as a wrong Rick Moranis movie. Let's be honest.
He's a fucking sweetheart. I think in everything he is, he's fucking fantastic.
Amen.
Oh, man. So, this has been great. This has been phenomenal.
for sure.
Whew, we've been all over the place. We've hit some dark points. We've hit some good. This has been a very interesting interview, and I wouldn't have assumed any less. Just from what I've gathered from listening to the album and what I've seen online in the video, you certainly you blew away any of my conceptions that I might have had. This is fucking insane. You almost broke me. You almost broke me.
Shit, I'll have to try a little harder next time.
Oh, absolutely. I would.
An hour to do this.
I was about to say.
Imagine a whole day.
Well, I would definitely, when things open up, I'd love to be able to do something. Either you come this way, I come that way. We'll figure that out. Zach, if you ever want to play D&D with us, I'll hit you up. If you want to hear about great detail about fantasy pornography hidden in random places in a fantasy world.
Yes.
Sometimes I give the best loot and I give the worst loot. When I can't think of anything, I'm like, oh, here's a crude, inappropriate drawing of two kobolds getting intimate with each other. So, yeah, glad he enjoyed it. Yeah, there's nothing like hiding pornography throughout Dungeons and Dragons. And on that note, my guest tonight have been Tyler, Jesse, Ryan, and Zach. Oh, thank you guys all so much.
Thanks, dude.
It's been an absolute blast. Oh man, it's been a great day. And so, MixTapers, hold tight. I'm gonna get my shit back together. We're gonna check out a couple songs here from early retirement, and then we're gonna jump over to Adam and check out the review. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Dude.
And we'll talk soon.